They go play action here on first down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Give him 7 on the play, and it's a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. So the offense has it 1st and 10.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
On 1st and 10, Hackenberg. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. More from Cleveland after this. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. And they're going to go soft on the corners. 2nd down, Hackenberg. And he finds a man on a crossing route. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down right around the 16. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
On 2nd down, here's Hackenberg. Underneath to Spiller. And he's brought down. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
1st down and goal. The offense knocking on the door. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's at the cornerback position.
And he gets halfway. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They've gotten it to the 1. Can they get that final yard here on 3rd and goal? They come out with 1 back, and he is in. Touchdown, New York. Christian Hackenberg, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jets are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, where they want to let their return guy touch it.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. He was looking for Terrell Pryor that time. That'll bring up 2nd down.
A pretty rocky start in this game for the guy throwing the ball. Already has thrown 1 interception. Almost threw a 2nd one right there. All he's doing right now is giving the defense a whole lot of confidence.
Back to the air on second down. It's Breeze. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. They get the completed pass, but still have more to go here on third down. Breeze going to try and throw on third down. And this is going to be incomplete.
I have to say that was a surprise call on 3rd and inches. I thought they'd try and run the football there, but you got to believe they thought they'd surprise the defense and pick up something downfield, but that one goes incomplete.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. To throw is nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. Coming in from that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7. And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Hackenberg on 1st down. His throw caught at about the 5. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll come out in the pistol. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Hackenberg flushed out right. Touchdown, New York Jets.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And the Browns getting set to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Caught left side. It's Barnage. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. To throw, it's Breeze. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. It's incomplete. And hello, I guess Larry's halftime show was buttoned through. And we are moving on and ready to go for the third quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Jet offense about to take over as they head out onto the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
And he's got a noon one. And a gain there of 11 yards.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
This is Spiller, and he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
Here's Hackenberg. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Emmanuel Agba, the rookie from Oklahoma State, from that outside linebacker spot. He's able to get in there for a loss of 9. For Hackenberg. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup. And it'll be left hash. Officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And they double him up here. That makes our score 20-10. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Breeze now on first down. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete. Josh Gordon, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said on the pick it's good enough to extend the drive. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. It's a long offense, walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. And quickly they get to the line. Breeze going to throw. Dumping it off for Johnson. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football.
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And a hook up over the middle to Pryor. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Into the red zone, it's Breeze. That's complete, right around the 8. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds, right around the 7. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. Breeze to throw again. Dancing to his left. Underneath for Johnson. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It's a 4-yard pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Everyone has their strengths, able to move to their right or their left, being able to throw the football. So that means you've got to work on both because you never know which way you're going to get flushed by pressure. In this situation, able to escape to his left and makes an accurate throw. There may be a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
This is turning into a bit of a death march here, the 13th play of this drive. They come out here in the I. 1st and goal here from the 2. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. Now this time, Breeze will throw. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jermaine Gresham, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns have cut it back within a score. And a play fake down near the goal line here worked out well.
Anytime you can make them think that you're going to run the ball and go to that play-action pass, you see the end result. Usually a touchdown.
Is that harder? Is the play fake harder to defend for the defense near the goal line or no? Because there's not as much room to work with?
It is harder because down near the goal line, you're thinking much more of a running play, especially if people run out big formations. So it is harder to defend.
New York set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. On 2nd down, Hackett nowhere to go here. He lost the football. It's loose, the ball bouncing around, and it's going to go out of the back of the end zone, so that is going to be a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
On 1st down, Breeze. And Barnage has it on the right side. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. On 2nd down, Johnson. And some space here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
So much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw on that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, they're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it and maybe having a little bit more space.
So still a full 10 yards to go here for the offense on 3rd down. Now Breeze on 3rd down. He's going to wind up and air it out into a double team, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. Well, they don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward. Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
On 2nd down, here's Hackenberg. Peek's got it over the middle. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there of 20 yards. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes, just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, but what a nice job improvising, finding other options, and completing the pass anyway.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
On 3rd down, Hackenberg. Under pressure there, and Hackenberg is sacked. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback, because he had no chance to block him.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Breeze going to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Breeze now on 1st down. That's caught. It's Coleman. And he's brought down after a good gain. Give him 22 on that one. And that'll be good for a Cleveland first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. Gets it to Gordon. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
And he's brought down. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
For so many years, I was convinced it was a myth, because you always hear about the smaller running back. Oh, he gets lost, you can't find him, and sometimes that's part of his genius. But it's true. You get behind big offensive linemen, the defensive line guys trying to find him, trying to peek around people to see him, and he gets lost. This guy gets lost in a good way for his offense, picking up big yardage.
Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Again, it's Johnson. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Second down to the offense, needing 5 yards. He's back to throw. Looking for someone to throw to. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on third down. Back to throw. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. And they've got to be a little frustrated here to not complete that on third down after having such a long drive going.
Well, you're talking about going over 70 yards on the drive. Yeah, did you say a little frustrated?
Very frustrated.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm very frustrated. There's no doubt about it. They thought they were going to have a chance to cash in the end zone. Now it looks like it's likely a field goal attempt.
And New York set to take the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect.
No, check, Patriot! Hurry up, here we go! No, check, Patriot!
Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Jamie Collins in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. Well, there was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
2nd down, sacked by the defense. What type of pressure will they bring here on 3rd? We'll see. He'll look to throw. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They'll look to throw. Incomplete over the middle. Safarian Jenkins. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. They come out 5 wide. 3 of them to the right side. Hackenberg looks to throw it. That one complete to Anderson. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Here's Hackenberg.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
3rd down, here's Forte. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can